then on the 20th, we have The Real Drago. And on the 21st, we have Daniel Max Shaw. So check out Wrestling Wit as those interviews drop. Alright, now that we're done putting ourselves over, it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. And for anybody that doesn't know, we have a new pope, and he is Chicago made, the Pope of Personality, as some people are calling him.
Really?
Yes. Um, it already came out that he's a White Sox fan and a Cubs fan. And the
That's blasphemy in itself. How can you be a fan of both? That's like saying you're a Mets and a Yankees.
I think he was more of a White Sox fan. But the internet, the wrestling internet community are dead set on finding out if he is a CM Punk fan or has seen CM Punk wrestle. Um, the timelines do kind of intersect, but he would be the very first pope to ever have seen pro wrestling. Maybe that's true. Thousands of years ago there was wrestling. Maybe not of the worked variety, but I digress.
Yeah, like Greco-Roman wrestling.
Right. Back in the good old days.
Hey, I wrestled in high school, freestyle.
When wrestling was real, damn it.
That wrestling is real, damn it. Fuck all that. Ask Kurt Angle. Anyways.
So, any thoughts on CM Pope, Chicago made Pope?
I knew that was coming. I saw felt that coming. So CM Pope is his name.
Huh.
Got it.
Who knows? Maybe oh, continue.
I mean, they're already talking about he won't even need security because they're gonna have a Jeep Wrangler with AR-15s strapped around it. I mean, the Chicago jokes are endless.
Who knows? Maybe.
And
oh, continue.
I mean, I said he might be the first pope to actually like not be in, because everybody else is like international, so soccer is the thing. He
Right.
might be the first pope to go to be at a Bears game. Like, I swear, like I could see him going to like the Vatican with a Michael Jordan jersey on, like straight up.
I mean, yeah. Chicago's greatest son, Michael Jordan.
Thought it was CM Punk.
I mean, I feel like Michael.
Kanye West. If you got people thinking, it depends. Chicago got a lot of people. Derrick Rose, not Evan Turner. I think it is Evan Turner. Derrick Rose, Evan Turner, Kanye West, CM Punk. Who else? Who else?
I feel it's Michael Jordan, CM Punk, and then literally everybody else.
Michael Jordan's not for Chicago. But Isaiah Thomas has more of a claim for Chicago. He playing for the team and being of Chicago is two different things. Like Cody Rhodes is from Atlanta. You could tell he's from Atlanta. He is of Atlanta culture. You see what I'm saying? I mean, just because you got the jersey on, don't mean you playing on the team. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, that sounds. Ooh, bar. Just because you got the jersey on, don't mean you playing for the team.
But he did play for the team. He was the team.
I'm talking about the team of Chicago. You're thinking the team of the Chicago Bulls NBA.
Yes.
I'm talking about the team of Chicago in these streets. It's two different Chicagos we talking about, sir.
I gotcha.
like, prime example. Michael Jordan may have been is beloved in Chicago. Isaiah Thomas, born and raised in Chicago, if that makes sense.
No, I gotcha. Well, I mean, there hasn't been a time in history where there was a more likelihood for a pope to attend a WWE event um than ever before. So
Maybe
maybe
he's at Survivor Series Chicago. Who knows?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if the stars align, if there's a show in Chicago and the Pope's there, who knows? Maybe we'll see the Pope in a CM Punk T-shirt.
I'm trying to figure out, can we use the Freedom of Information Act to gouge through his tickets collection? Like his ticket stubs. You know what I'm saying? That would be interesting. Because we never had an American Pope, which is crazy.
Very true. First American
So
Pope.
he gonna be the first one. They'll be like the World Cup. He gonna be like, "What's that?"
Go
He might know
Lakers.
WrestleMania. He might know WrestleMania before he knows like Messi. I don't know. You know, so
I mean, you might not be wrong about that. First Pope to go to the Super Bowl. First Pope at WrestleMania. The possibilities are endless.
I mean, if we see the Pope front row at Mania, it's a wrap. I mean, if I see the Pope at front row, it's a wrap. Sitting next to Jelly Roll at the
Oh, God. And the football player from the 49ers, what is his name?
Oh yeah, George Kittle. Sit next to Jelly Roll and George Kittle. Boy,
Okay,
people have a fucking field day.
I'll give George Kittle something. He's literally always there. Gotta hand it to that guy. He is
Oh, bro, I'm gonna
truly
tell
a
you.
fan.
I can tell you right now. I've been every Mania I've been to. I've seen that dude there. He is 100%. Granted, they give him the ticket pro bono, but that mofo there,
He's taking them for sure.
he was there before all this. Before they started doing the celebrity panham at the Mania. So yeah,
Yeah,
now he's about it. He's about it.
an OG, as we say.
And I got a photo with him. I mean, I need to share that photo. See, I'm gonna put it on my. I'm gonna unlock. I'm gonna put the cobwebs off my Twitter and then.
Well, somebody else dusting off the cobwebs is Shotzi Blackheart. Um, she will not be renewing her contract when it comes up. Obviously her contract is up sooner rather than later. We talked about all the releases last week on the show. A couple of more names were added to that. Most notably, Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers. Um, I liked Joe Coffey and his brother. And Wolfgang, I'm surprised he made it as long as he necessarily did. Um, but yeah, what are your thoughts on? There was a couple more releases, but their names escape me, and I mean, it wasn't less necessarily, this name is gonna set the world on fire, so to speak. But what are your
I
thoughts,
mean,
Shotzi Blackheart, and Wolfgang Coffee Brothers, leaving WWE?
I think with Shotzi, it's a little different because it's like she became was she? Oh, she got married, right?
She got married, but I think you're confusing her with Ruby Riott.
No, 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 no. Ruby is having a baby, right?
Yeah, and I think she's engaged as well.
Ruby's the one having a baby. Shotzi literally just got married. I think Shotzi probably itching to get back in the indie scene because I mean, it's as a lady, it's easy. I wouldn't say it's easier, but
It's
you
easier.
can market yourself.
It's 100%
It's
easier.
not as a female. I doubt it.
I disagree with that completely. It's
But
1000% easier to market yourself on the indies as a female.
okay, we'll see what Shayna Baszler does, and then Dakota Kai and Katana Chance and Caden Carter, and we'll see what they do. There we go. How about that?
Well, I don't think Shayna Baszler anytime soon is getting OnlyFans, but the wide majority of the other
Or
ones.
Jorah K. Or what is it? Jorah? Cora Jade. Cora Jade's on. Oh, she's on OL.
Yeah, she
She
already
already.
got one. Yeah.
Damn, already?
Yeah, already.
Well, well, fuck me. Oh yeah, she's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck these bumps. She's the Mandy Rose route. That's what it's gonna be called. The Mandy Rose Trail.
Well, that's what she be doing right now. Um,
Hey, get it, girl. Get it, girl.
yeah.
Get it, girl.
I don't, honestly, I don't know what Katana Chance is gonna do. You know, obviously she was very well known in the Ninja Warrior route. So maybe she just opens a gym and continues that. But keep in mind, she's never been on the Independents. She literally went from uh, American Ninja Warrior to WWE. Um,
True.
the her tag team partner was Indies, I know for sure. Um, but I feel like Shotzi, and this is literally no,
Indies.
huh?
She'll shine on the Indies.
I would say that she would more likely go to AEW. You know, I don't say this as a knock. I think she would shine there. I think she would do well there. And
With who? Because everything there is about showing tits and chin up, tits out. Yeah. I don't see Shotzi being that kind of lady.
I mean, she's the ballsy badass. She got
Yeah,
balls.
you know how many motherfuckers in AEW got balls on that women's division?
And I mean, Billy Starks, you know, her protege is in AEW right now. So, I feel like it would make the most sense for her to go there. Um, Wolfgang and the rest and the Coffee Bros, I think they're probably going back to England. Probably like a Rev Pro.
Yeah, easily. But I'm just saying, I mean, you got Abaddon there. Ballsy badass. Hello.
Abaddon
Uh,
has an OnlyFans.
are you, Jesus, take the wheel. Just take me now. Just take me now.
There's literally whatever you're into online. There's an OnlyFans girl for that.
Just leave me. Mercedes Martinez is still with AEW.
She is.
Yes.
When's the last time she had a match on AEW TV?
Point exactly.
I mean, it's funny you bring that up because, like, and Helico had a match on AEW a couple days ago, and I was like, this guy's still employed? And it was still, look, I mean, I'm not shitting on Helico here. But, like, it's been so long, like,
So many people, it's like milk cartons. It feels like America's Most Wanted. You just finding these people like, what?
yeah, and then, what is his name? Zach Gowen, out of fucking nowhere, was on AEW TV. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally the island of misfits. But, but I do not want to hear ever again Abaddon who got an OnlyFans. Just let it roll. What?
Um, Probably going back on the independents, but not getting an OnlyFans is Vincent and Dutch. The what are they called? The Righteous. They actually asked for their releases from AEW, and it was granted. So I feel like they were misused and underutilized they had a great aesthetic to them, but they never gave them what they could. They never fed the potential that could have been. Um, I don't necessarily see them going to WWE. I mean, anything's possible, honestly, but maybe a TNA, but more than likely independence. No,
I mean, indie, you could. I don't think the the indies is this dead end as people as it seem people may think it is. I mean, Zack Ryder is a or Matt Cardona now is a pure example. I mean, the indies is what you make out of it.
and Matt Cardona makes a lot of money on the indies. You know,
I mean, but then again, he's everywhere. He's. I mean, let's just make it honest. As far as an ex WWE person, he is the bar as far as like how to remarket yourself. Because I mean, at least with Cody, Cody had the backing of he had family heritage.
Cody Rhodes, the Rhodes.
I mean, yeah, Cody, but Cody had the heritage.
Yeah,
Zach didn't have none of that shit. He had to literally get out the mud. So that's why I say he's the bar.
as much as I dislike, Matt Cardona, you know, I do have to give him, props for, being successful on the indies. And, work, because he does work his ass off. He's literally fucking everywhere. That's time on flights, in the car, trains. Maybe he bikes some places. I don't know.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. That dude is like
There you
a
go.
Waffle House. He is on the corner of every indie wrestling show.
Yeah. So, it's as much work as you want to put into it. And, that guy wanted to put the work in. And, it's not exactly like, he doesn't have a personal life. I mean, he's married as well. I mean, to Chelsea Green, as everybody knows. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe this is the first time you've heard this. So, there's a lot of sacrifices there. And, when all of these guys and girls got, fired, he said you could, be bitter about it. You can, just ride off of your WWE name, or you could just work your ass off, make a lot of money, and have a lot of fun. And, I mean, he is the antithesis of that last statement, no?
I mean, considering he had to literally reinvent himself. Yeah. Like I mean, it's at the point right now. It's the same with Cody. It's like when he gets signed, because I think he's gonna go back eventually. But when he goes back, he's not gonna be back as Zack Ryder. He's gonna be in as Matt Cardona.
I disagree. I disagree with him coming back. I don't think he's going to come back.
I mean, he'll come back for a year or two. I would. It would be WWE's mistake if they didn't take advantage of this persona of Matt Cardona, who, keep in mind, he was a heel, but he's never been as irritating as he is in the indies.
I disagree with him coming back and getting over. I don't think that he would get over if he came back.
I think he would.
It works on the indies. I don't know if it's gonna work on, back in WWE.
Well, if that's the case, then Cody wouldn't have came back. I mean, Cody left as Stardust, bro. He literally had to change his whole persona and came back as that persona.
But I mean, you're comparing apples and oranges here. Even you said Cody, he had, the lineage. He had, the Rhodes name.
He had the lineage, but they weren't marketing him as the lineage, though.
No.
They marketed him as fucking. They didn't mention him being like Dusty's kid until they did the Authority angle.
we could compare Cody Rhodes and Zack Ryder as much as we could, but he he reinvented himself because he didn't know who he was as a person.
Who? Cody?
Cody, yeah.
So does Zack. He could have. I mean, he easily could have left because I don't think WWE's out here copyrighting Zack Ryder.
I mean, at the time they definitely would have. I mean
I mean,
the Vince McMahon era, hell yeah.
but that's my point. I mean, keep in mind Cody couldn't use Rhodes. He had to use Cody.
That's right, for a long time.
That's my point. It's the same thing, same concept.
Well, let's keep on people leaving. Tetsuya Naito had his last New Japan official match under contract a couple of days ago. It was an 8-man tag that featured Bushi, Shingo, and Hiromu versus Takamichi Nuku, Taichi, what is his name? Shota Umno, and one other guy I don't remember. And yeah, I think that this is, New Japan hasn't been New Japan for quite some time, but I feel like this was maybe the last nail in the coffin, if I'm being honest, for New Japan, for this era of New Japan, I should say. Well,
I wouldn't go that.
We're obviously in a new era, and that
When Hiromu leaves, that's when we're in. Hiromu's still there. He's still keeping it going. But once he's gone, then it's over. But and I get what you're talking about, the era where you had like the era of the stars that they had.
the Big Four. When guys like Nakamura left, you had somebody like Okada to replace him. When AJ Styles left, you had somebody like Naito to replace him. But no, you had Kenny Omega to
Omega.
replace. Yeah, there you go. Naito forced himself into the narrative, in that Big Four. They tried something with Kota Ibushi. It didn't work.
So you saying the Big Four? Sorry to interrupt. So your Big Four was Naito, Omega, Okada, and who's your four?
Well,
because when you say Big Four, I want the people to know what you mean.
Okay, so
that way.
The original Big Four was Tanahashi, Okada, AJ Styles, and Nakamura. Then Nakamura and AJ Styles left. Naito and Omega took those spots.
Right.
Omega left. Jay White took that spot.
Really? Did he though?
Who would you say took Omega's spot?
I don't think nobody took. I think no one took it personally.
But
they had imposters, but no one could take the spot as like the most popular gaijin in Japan.
They tried to fit Ospreay in there. It didn't necessarily work.
People didn't like him.
Huh?
People didn't like him.
Yeah, and they tried Kota Ibushi, and that just went off like a wet fart.
His knee.
Huh?
The knee.
His knee, his shoulder, his ankle, like
Rock'em Sock'em Robot, Mr. Potato Head. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. they even tried Sota Umno this year at Wrestle Kingdom, and the people just did not want him. Um, so I mean, I don't think that there really is a big four anymore. I would have said Tanahashi, Naito, or your big stars, but there's no big four. I don't really consider David Finlay, a really big star for New Japan. And I mean, Yoda Tsuji, he's going to be their biggest star in the future, 100%. But he's not there yet. Sota Uno, he has a more difficult route to get the people to like him. Um, what is his name? It's not Yoramura.
Yoda
No, Yoramura.
Oh,
Um,
Yoramura.
he he has potential, but it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I've seen him wrestle. So I don't really know where he's on his wrestling journey. Um, Sonata. Need I say more?
Sonata. God, no, 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 Sonata.
So I mean, I like Goto. I'm not gonna shit on Goto, but when Goto is your world champion, it kind of tells you where your company is right now. And the main event of that show that Naito, had his last match was headlined by Goto versus Callan Newman. Yeah. So I mean, that's where we're at in New Japan right now. We're giving Callan Newman a main event push. No, I mean, I basically it's just throwing shit at the wall to see what fits. I'm not mad at it, but they tried to make new stars, and people aren't just necessarily accepting them. Would you agree with that or no?
Honestly, I think they just had this problem since. I think the biggest problem with New Japan in that regard was that they had the stars, but they were also doing intense storytelling with those stars, right? So the storytelling for Naito was that nobody wanted him in the beginning anyway. So he literally pulled a Matt Cardona callback, reinvented himself, reinvented himself, and became like the Stone Cold. I mean, I think he's the Stone Cold Steve Austin of New Japan, the guy that just didn't care and whose antics were so off the wall. I mean, motherfucker tried to pawn the belt. He tried to pawn a belt he broke. I'm just saying, like,
And he did it before Matt Cardona, so we can't call it a Cardona if he did it before.
I mean, I'm just saying, but those things endeared himself to the people, and it fit into his character because of the fact that he could give a shit that people love him because of the fact that they didn't care for him in the first place. Omega in itself was just like he was just the colonizer that became one of the people,
Right.
and that's very hard to do. Uh, Considering he immersed himself in the language, spoke the language, knew the, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's something you will never replace. Sonata, I mean, not Sonata, but Okada and Nakamura, they were the hometown stars that became larger than life figures. I mean, Nakamura was literally like the Michael Jackson of wrestling at that point, right?
Oh yeah, there was no.
Guy could go and he was just, you know, he had the dance moves and all the mannerisms. Okada was just a great wrestler, and people loved the fact that he was a great wrestler. Uh, Yeah, but even with all those things took time and they invested into him and they gave him the right character and the right storyline, and the right stories to endear themselves to the people. And that to me is the missing element because as you're trying to transition these people through, you usually use those people who are older or those big four to pivot and make those people stars. And they tried it with Jay White. And I was with Omega losing to Jay White before the exit, right?
Yeah.
And it worked to a certain extent. Uh, but he could never be that big Gaijin guy that everyone else could, even though he tried his ass off. Zack Sabre Jr. is getting close, but that took him having to join Suzuki Gun, being part of Minoru's group, and being kind of like this underling where people couldn't stand him, and now you don't know what to make of him.
And I could
Uh,
just interject for a second. As much as we call, Jay White a gaijin, he was most certainly not a gaijin. He actually came up in the New Japan dojo. He was a young lion, around the ring. So I mean, as
right.
much as he was a foreigner, he was very much a New Japan guy, and they still didn't accept him.
I would say because it was just I mean, I will say this: Japanese crowd, they're that intelligent. They'll pick up on who they like, and they can
But
tell when people seem forced. I mean, look at Naito. Naito felt forced, and they were like, "Fuck it,"
oh yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So that's where they're stuck. They're stuck not having a person that is organically getting with the people to get, you know what I'm saying, that is organic and authentic with the people to the people want to ride with them through the end. They're trying to make the stars instead of letting the people dictate who could be that next star.
Later in the night, Yoda Sushi.
Because if that's the case, and I'll say this,
Mhm.
because if that was the case, Hiromu would have been champion a long time ago.
And the thing about New Japan is they don't. It's they don't necessarily treat everybody fairly. If I'm being honest, the big four. Like I said, only those four people would ever be considered, New Japan IWGP champion. Like no, like it would be a rare occasion where somebody outside of those four, would hold the championship. And you know they, you know, there's always even for the Japanese wrestlers, there's a glass ceiling, and if they don't see you, you know, in a certain way, then you're not gonna break through that ceiling. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's why guys like Jay White and Osprey left. Loki, I kind of feel like if not New Japan if AEW didn't become a thing, he would have Omega would have stayed. But I digress with that. Um, it's just they don't have those stars now, and like I said, during the last show that Naito was a part of, Yoda Tsuchi wrestled. Um, Naito and the rest of Lij came out to congratulate him, and Naito put Yoda Tsuchi in the front, kind of symbolizing, this is the guy. Um, I mean, I hope that's true, but we'll see if that's the rope that's gonna get Yoda Tsuchi over.
they can try, but the problem is that I he could be the guy, but my thing is that there's that guy Hiromu who's emotionally more attached to the people than he is.
I mean, very true, but don't you?
Which is weird that he's the leader and Hiromu's been OG for the longest.
At this point, yeah, he's the longest tenured member. But I really don't feel like there is an Lij anymore. If I'm being completely honest, it was Naito's baby. He said that there was no leaders, but he was the leader. um,
There
so,
was no leaders, but I think him and Hiromu were the leaders.
but Evil left, Sonata left, Bushi left. It's like the NWO without Hogan, Hall, and Nash. You know what I mean?
I mean, that 2.0 NWO.
Yeah. It doesn't work, unless, it's not going to be the same if it's not the originals.
I mean, I can see your point there.
So, I mean, maybe from the ashes of Lij, something great will come about, but, um, you know, we have to wait and see, I would suppose.
I mean, Sushi's a champ. He's the Gaijin champ, so I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I just think if they had pulled that trigger on Hiromu would have been the guy,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
and that's to me the problem because I felt like that when Evil, let's say when Evil betrayed and won the title, and he fought Hiromu, had Hiromu won that match, totally different trajectory.
You're not wrong about that. That would have been a very interesting scenario if it, manifested.
It would have been like Evolution when Randy Orton beat Chris Benoit.
Mm, I see your point. Um,
The underling beat the guy who.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. Um, you know, the G1 is coming up sooner rather than later, so it'll be interesting to see who's in it, who's not, who gets points. I feel like this is the most important G1 in recent memory because I feel like it is going to set us up to to see what
On who they're going to determine is going to be that guy.
right.
Because at this point, this might be the most wide open G1 you'll ever see.
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, last we could say the same thing about last year, but I didn't watch it because of the Olympics, and then I turn on New Japan. Zack fucking Sabre Jr. is your G1 winner, and I was like, what the fuck happened here? Was I smoking crack before I opened this new tab?
Like, give it to the white guy.
Oh,
Oh, wait. I mean, but Sushi's gonna more than likely he's walking in as the Gaijin champ, so I don't see it happening unless they're merging that belt.
possibly. But
So it would have to be another person, which might be Shota.
do you think that he's there yet, Soda?
I mean, it's not a honestly at this point, it's not a matter of fact of if he's there or not. It's a matter of fact of who else is gonna do it, who else is gonna be it.
I feel it's your top three are Soda, Suchi, and Yoramura. Those are the three.
So like a little young core. But I mean, they're gonna have to. It's a lot of. That's a haul. Because you got three people that people barely are getting to know.
I mean, Suchi definitely came came in with the most hype. You know, literally his first match was an IWGP title match. And low key, you believe that he could have won that match. Um, but the rest, the people kind of decided they don't like Soda for whatever reason, and like I said, I haven't seen enough of Yoramura for me to say one way or the other. Are people getting behind him?
Maybe they pulled the trigger on Chase Owens or Hiromu.
Or maybe even Sonata.
Don't disappoint me like that. I mean, Kenny's there. He could come back for a nice little run. To get someone over. Um,
Maybe it's Yoshihashi's year.
oh fuck no, it'll never be Hoshi Yoshi. Taka Michinoku has a better chance of winning the G1.
Well, something we didn't think was going to be a cold day in hell. Alberto Del Rio, um, if you believe in rumor and innuendo, has signed with WWE to continue as AAA champion. Um, from what I'm hearing, WWE, he's not going to make appearances on WWE TV. This is strictly, he's the AAA champion. Um, you know, have to keep the champion employed for the time being. Um, you, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little surprised that they signed him. Despite him being somewhat problematic, but I also understand, if he's not going to be on the main roster, then, he's strictly a Triple Eight wrestler. But I still feel like it's somewhat problematic, even, then. But what are your thoughts on it?
What the fuck did Alberto Del Rio do?
He had domestic violence on his
Oh yeah,
girlfriend.
that part, the
Um,
DV.
Not
Yeah, I totally
Paige,
forgot.
and he apparently abducted and abused a child as well. Um, and I mean that's
Yeah,
the
I
things we
do.
know about.
Because I was a little. I mean, I was thinking it was more politics enabled. I could see them not wanting to deal with him if all of that, like the DV part. But the question is, if he comes back, are they really going to bring that up with him? It's like Jeff Hardy. Like he goes to WWE, they don't bring up the fact that he was like a druggie. You know what I'm saying?
But okay, but keep in mind, even despite Jeff Hardy's, issues, they still talked about him on WWE TV. He's in the video packages. It does kind of seem like Alberto Del Rio kind of got the Benoit treatment, where they kind of, expunged him from, their history.
Oh, because he wasn't in the top 50 WWE WrestleMania matches.
No, but I mean, like I said, somewhat of a problematic man.
Complicated men, indeed. I mean, yeah, it's complicated, but I mean, as long as they understand that, he understands that. I mean, that's all you can do.
I get it, but I don't get it. Why would you want that bad PR from, a problematic guy that's probably going to continue being problematic in the future?
Because they bought the company and he's the champion, and unless you're planning on influencing the political decision to off him as the champion, then you're kind of stuck with it.
You're not wrong.
And by that meaning is like, okay, if you bought AAA with the intention to defunct it and pull all the rosters, I could see your point, like of WCW. But if you're just buying it just to use it as like a farming system for the Latino stars, then why wouldn't you just keep them?
I get that. All right.
So like he's there, but he's not there.
Alright, I think that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
But before that, Toru Yano's winning the G1.
E-A-O.
The DVDs go finally make.
Yeah, finally when he wins the G1, there's no more. They've discontinued DVDs.
I know.
Now a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.